Hello and welcome to another Scardcast Tactical Corner. Today we look at the second narrative game on Chronos 5 with the Dark Eldar taking on the Space Wolves. Logan Grimnar himself has come down and is willing to take Archon Skari on. But the battle report aside, which is in the link below, what are the tactics that were used this game? Get ready to improve your game. Hello and welcome to another Narrative Battle Report Tactical Corner, released after every battle report on the channel. Of course, if you haven't watched the battle report yet, I recommend you go to the link down below and look at the battle report first so you kind of know what I'm talking about. But it features 1250 points of Dark Eldar versus 1250 points of Space Wolves in a Highlander style game series, and this is game 2, where Archon Skari, retreating into the webway, is met by the Space Wolves, who have tried to bring in. Now, these games allow you to bring a variety of different units that you would not normally bring. And the Space Wolf army was designed to just basically pound me into submission. The Quad Mortars were probably the toughest part of this list because they're just crazy shooting, but Space Wolf on Wolven Cavalry, the Terminators, the Librarian, and then the Scouts. Very elite army. So not a lot of different units, and this ended up being a detriment tactically later in the game. Now, the opening gambit saw the Dark Eldar take the first turn and really kind of put some pressure on the Space Wolves, but I was unable to capitalize on my initial moves by failing to get First Blood, as the little scout unit really held their own and essentially took my Reaver jet bikes for a loop. Now, this left me in a tactical position where my Reaver jet bikes were now exposed, and I had to, see what I was going to do with those Thunderwolf cavalry coming down my flank, threatening the Ravageur and the big unit of Kabylie warriors. Now, the Venom and Incubi and my Witches that ended up going up to threaten the Quad Mortars were out of range at first, but had to move into range later in the game. And I honestly, I was surprised that my assault units, like my Reaver jet bikes and my Witches, just got absolutely pounded. And all in all, I just really started losing the game in terms of the initiative in the game. And this was proving to be costly. Luckily enough, my Incubi and my Archon with the Huskblade were able to make swift work of the Thunderwolf cavalry thanks to the instant death on the Huskblade. And I just still couldn't do anything with those guns. I knew I had to deal with them some way or somehow. I even had Hellions come in, and they were completely destroyed as well. And lo and behold, Logan Grimnar shows up, ready to beat some face in. And all in all, my plan was simple. It was pick apart the Space Wolf army, deal with the different elements one at a time, and Logan Grimnar arriving pretty much where he wanted to with his full army. I was hoping to focus fire on them as much as possible with the Trueborn and the Scourge. Of course, my Trueborn and Scourge didn't show up when I was hoping them to show up. And my Witches did hold their own. They were actually the game winners for me, killing the last model in the artillery unit at the end of the game. But the whole game kind of revolved around Archon Skari, the Terminators. They charged in, murdered the Incubi, and Logan Grimnar himself went up to Archon Skari, beat him over the head with his axe, killing Archon Skari and gaining essentially the entire point of this mission was that. Narratively and tactically, it was worth the most amount of points, getting Archon Skari and Logan Grimnar in a challenge, beating each other up. and even the Lone Wolf just held up the Incubi long enough that then Logan Grimnar made a good decent charge into the combat with the Incubi, and all the Incubi in Archon Skari got completely murdered. But at that point, after the epic battle, you know, the Space Wolves were very exposed, and I just had enough firepower that I was able to lay low the bravest of the brave Space Wolf Terminators by just pumping them full of poison shots. So it's always a good idea to play to the mission. You know, narratively, you know, the Space Wolves were playing to the mission, and I was playing to the mission, and it really, you know, we were both getting points, but it was a very entertaining game. And my Witch, right at the end, killed the last Marines, allowing me to take the victory from the jaws of defeat points-wise, but narratively, Logan Grimnar did achieve his objective. What do you think? Leave a comment down below. Would you have played it any differently? And I'll see you next week with another Scardcast Battle Report.